guys lay down, cuddle up. Ah. Yeah, I'm gonna look like the Michelin Man for sure. Hi, Misty. I love this mask. No fog in my eyes. It lets the air out. Love this. Love this. Give me 10 of them. I don't want to know what's in it. Just give me 10 of them. Okay. It's fucking cold. So right now I'm struggling with like warming up. I want to give myself enough layers so that I can do this and stay warm inside that fucking freezing ass bitch. Dang, they put zippers in this? It has little footies. Am I supposed to put my shoes on first? Oh. Oh, it came out of my brain. You can do it, Misty. I know you can. It's just that you have to challenge yourself. You have to just decide, oh, I'm going to make this. And then you just follow the instructions. And you fuck up a bunch. You make one that looks like shit. And then the second one you make looks better. And the third one you make looks even better. And that's literally how it goes. The stuff that you see me crocheting, I never just complete a task. I have to completely unravel everything I've done multiple times. Starting is the hardest part. Getting started is the hardest because you have to redo it over and over and over again, and you're basically working with air, you know? So it's difficult. Okay. I don't want to step outside on the ground in this stuff, though. It's like wet outside, so I think I'm going to put my boots on over this. And then he got me shoes. He got me shoe covers, too. Disposable shoe guards. Elastic ankle ensures snug fit. You get 2 of them. So I could just put this on over my boot. Not that it really makes a difference because it's shoes or whatever, but I don't want to step in the Tyvek suit in the water outside. And then he got me gloves and a head cover. Capucha protectora para pintar. Hold on, where's my I gotta call Elliot. Ew, it smells like maple syrup. FaceTime video, Grandpa Josh.
Starting a FaceTime call to Grandpa Josh.
Hey, Mom. That was really weird. Hey, Mom. I was like, what?
Hello! Hello!
Yeah. She looks like one of the bad guys.
Why do you look so creepy?
Ha ha! I'm suiting up. Don't you like my outfit?
What are you suiting up for?
To go clean the bus. Durr.
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 I can read you. One of your hairs are out.
Throw the charger
I know.
for the MacBook in the truck when she gets a chance.
Yeah, when you have a chance.
It's me, Mario.
My dad was saying, when you have a chance, can you throw the MacBook block into the truck? When you have a chance?
And the cord would be great as well.
And the cord, that would be great as well, my dad says.
Well, I'll put it, you gotta remind me whenever I come because I actively use it every moment to charge my devices.
Oh, I thought you just replaced it. Elliot told me you guys used it, and then you guys bought a new one that was like 200 watts or something like that.
Yeah.
We bought a brick.
Yeah, that's what I need. The charging brick and then
for the car.
The cord.
No, we bought a brick for the car.
Oh.
Yeah, like, and I can't find it. It's missing. It was in my backpack at the hotel, and now it's missing. So I'm driving completely
Chargerless.
Naked.
I don't even have a charger in the car.
Yeah, I don't have a charger in my car at all. My phone, it's put me in a predicament a couple of times. Anyways, I just wanted to call and show you this thing. I gotta go because I'm gonna go and do things.
Hey, do call me when you find the Legos and face me towards the chest.
I will.
So
Well, if you tune on to YouTube right now, you can watch me go and do it.
Okay, I'm tuning on to YouTube right now. Okay?
All right, love you.
But you're not live. Love you too. Bye, Mom.
Bing. Okay. It's like riding up in my eyeball. How am I going to hit my jewel like this? I got to figure a system out. It didn't blow nothing out. Actually, there has been 0 cases of the hantavirus in the state of Oregon or whatever, so I'm truly not worried about it as much as I am just like, it's fucking nasty in there, man. I don't want to be touching on that shit. Oh, I just went in there just this morning and there's a huge leak inside the bus, dude. It's bad. So... I want to cut this just a little bit, or... There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, that's better. It inflated. Oh my god. If you fart, is it gonna make you like bubble up? Oogity boogity oogity boogie. Oogity boogity oogity boogity. Oogity boogity oogity boogity. The kiss. He's like, what the fuck? Oh, careful, careful. No, no, no. Back, 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 back. Oogity boogity oogity boogity. The little retards. Shit. I love this mask. I have never felt so good in a mask before. Who, me? Terrorizing the dogs? No. That's better. What? What? I'm fine. I'm totally fine. You need to go lay down. No, no, no. That's fine. Stop. 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 Get here, my baby. My tiny baby. I love you. Yes, you're so terror. Oop, I'm tripping over my feet. Sorry, Willie, no sir. No, no, no. Two bags. I'm gonna run out of bags fast. I'm not gonna need cleaning spray for a while. So I'm gonna do that. All right. I mean, it is a fucking crime scene. Oh, you get, excuse me. Excuse me. Got my jewel. Got my gloves. Let's go get some extra bags. Who the fuck are you? Oh, it's you! I thought you were a stranger. Thought you were a boogeyman. My bus is leaking so bad. She can't hear me a single word. I'm gonna go in the bus and start doing stuff.
This shit back to my house.
Oh. Where's your car?
It doesn't start right now.
How the fuck did you get here?
I walked.
You walked here? Okay, weird.
I'm gonna walk back and that's fine. I just gotta fucking.
If you want to throw that shit in the back of my truck, I'll take it down there later.
Okay.
I'm not going to be leaving for a little while, but
Well, I mean, if I can toss it.
if you can throw it in the back of the truck and make it not fall out, I got to go to the store in a little while.
Oh, shit. Do you know where I live?
Where the boat is.
Correct. It's a teardrop shape.
What is this sound? There's an alarm going on. Dude, my chat is up in the top of the screen. YouTube is doing weird shit. Be right back. This is fucking weird. The chat is literally up here. Be right back. Okay. Oh, yeah, and check out this awesome leak. Just water everywhere. Cool. It's just dumping water. And it's coming from, I bent it. I bent that back to try to see where the water's coming from, but you can see the droplets along the emergency exit railing there. I have no idea where the water's coming from. So that sucks. Dude, all my treasures. All my fucking treasures. It's so sad. And Adam fucking apparently did something with my bus. He moved it and shook it up so much that the stove moved. The stove is like 800 pounds. Oh, it totally just destroyed that. Cool. Thanks, bud. Love that. Okay. I better go get my tablet. There's a fucking huge leak in my bus. Yep, pretty lame. Not a window either, which is really shit.
Well, if you don't get it fixed today, I'll help you fix it tomorrow. I fixed a lot of roof holes tracked down where they were coming in.
Yeah, I think from when the tree hit my house.
Yeah, that probably would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But just because it's leaking through that one roof doesn't necessarily mean that's where inside it's gonna leak because it leaks the room. So it's fine.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that. It's this window that's leaking right here, or at least from this area. This is bad. The trough needs to be cleaned out really bad. I know that. Caulking definitely in my future. kidding me? That pisses me off.
So I'm just curious, do you have an anti-trans policy? Are trans people not allowed to be here?
Boycott against a bathhouse in San Francisco that protesters say has policies that exclude transgender people.
Then don't go. Everyone is so tired of all of you with this already. Transgender people really are trying to win the battle to lose the war at this point.
About 90 minutes into our hot tubbing, 2 attendants came in, singled him out, and asked him if he was transgender. He responded, "That's inappropriate. Why are you asking?" And they replied, "Because we had complaints." My friend responded, "I'm a man, so obviously I'm going to use the men's facilities."
And this is where I'm really starting to see more and more where we just have to start going by biological definitions for man and woman in all circumstances. Because as you will see in these 2 stories, there really is no winning with trans people right now. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, you guys, I wanted to talk about this because this is 2 different stories we're going to talk about in the same city, San Francisco, and I'm beginning to feel like trans people are doing this on purpose. Like, there was a point where the gays were being silly like that and really trying to go after businesses that they knew weren't going to cater to them, but they wanted to test them, and then they wanted to try to sue them or get them shut down. And thank God, as gays, we got over that real fast because it is not a good look. But that's what trans people are doing in these 2 stories. And in one of these stories that I'm about to play first, you'll see that one of the trans people that's acting as an activist in this story really is the worst kind of person. And not only the worst kind of person, the worst kind of
Not with
person
that
to
attitude,
be
easy
involved
life.
in this kind of protest. And I mean it when I say this could really hurt the trans cause worse than they're already hurting right now. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why the trans community or the trans activists feel like it's worth throwing it all away right now, especially when you don't have public sentiment on your side on any level. And the reason that I say trans people right now are winning the battle to lose the war is because they're able to force these businesses and these people to do and say what it is they want them to do and say. But in the long run, I really do feel like it's going to backfire. It is not going to work out in their favor the way that they think it is. So let's get into it.
Our Kelsey Thorne spoke with some of the protesters who insist it's a sign of a troubling trend in the country.
A group of transgender rights advocates are calling for a boycott of a San Francisco spa they say is enacting anti-trans exclusion.
If you give people the opportunity to be better than another person, so like, say, I'm a purple person, and the community says that purple people need to be treated with respect and need to be like focused on, because purple people have been treated bad generations in the previous. So now today, purple people, right? So then there are going to be some purple people who are like, oh, really? All right. How can I fucking scam this to make it work for me? Not everyone, but there are people like that in this world. There's a lot more than ever. So it's stupid. People are stupid. So stupid that it even got to this point. Oh, just because the people are black or gay, they don't lie, they don't manipulate. Okay.
Brad Momoray says she was
If
told
you
she
say
would
they're a
not be
manipulator,
allowed
you're a
to
racist.
participate in a ladies' night at Archimedes Banya unless she remained clothed at all times inside the clothing optional spa.
I came from Alabama.
It's because you have a dick!
To escape that type of prejudice and hate. I got here and I found out this city has just as much of it.
The Russian bathhouse offers one women's only night and one men's only night each month. On their website, they say the nights are to, quote, shelter religious preferences of women and men in their community. Therefore, they limit participation to sex assigned at birth.
It kind of set off some alarm bells for me because in a lot of Slavic cultures, like pre-Christian Slavic cultures, there was a lot of gender and sexuality was much more fluid than, and it was put down by the Christians. But even without all that, there are a lot of Catholic, Orthodox, Jewish, and Muslim people who are trans allies, if not trans themselves.
Jordan says she herself is of Slavic origin. To try and reach a compromise, the spa put out a statement saying they will offer one inclusive women's only night where trans women will be welcome, and another cultural and religious women's night where only those assigned female at birth will be allowed in. Jordan says that's no compromise at all.
That response is really discriminatory when you think about it, because if you had a night where you excluded, say, a certain race, that would not fly. And we're just saying that it won't fly. It won't fly if that trans exclusive nights won't fly.
Offer them to us every day. We're not any different than
No, we can't just have one day. Now we
Dakota
need
Rose
every
Austin
day.
says the controversy at the spa seems to be just another example of what she says is an increase in anti-trans policies across the country.
As Latinos,
It's pro
as trans,
women.
as queer,
I don't
as
want to see a
African-American,
dick. I don't care if it has
turned now.
tits next to
If
it.
you weaponize DEI,
I want to feel
affirmative action, and all these
comfortable.
other
I don't
things
like a
that
boner.
benefit
I don't want to see a
everyone in
boner.
America, and you weaponize them against us, now I'm in fear.
Protesters, including Breath, say they plan to continue to picket outside of the spa until they change their policy, allowing trans customers every night of the month.
Okay, so if you noticed in that story, the spa has said that they would compromise and have 2 women's nights just to accommodate the trans people. One that would be trans inclusive and one that was just for biological females. And that's still not good enough for these activists, which I really don't feel like are true activists. I think what they are is people that are trying to be in there for nefarious purposes. Because it's like, why do you insist on being nude in front of women that do not want to see you nude? That's what they're saying. They're saying that there are a certain group of women that do not want to see male parts. And even though you may hold up a sign that says trans women are biological women, that's not true. I hate to break it to you, but it's just not true. Trans women are biologically male. That's the biology of it. And I'm tired of people trying to redefine these things, because when I was coming up, it really wasn't like this at all. It honestly was like, because of the way society was and because of the way trans was at the time, you had a lot more people that thought like Buck Angel or Blair White, where they knew their biology, they knew they would always be what they were born, but they wanted to present, and their friends, me included, would treat them and talk to them the way that they wanted to be talked to. But outside of that, they had no expectation from the rest of the world that the world was supposed to treat them anything other than as another human being. And nobody owes you to see you the way you see yourself. And once trans people understand that, they'll be much happier. I don't feel like anybody that is humoring trans people right now and lying to them and telling them that they're the same as biological men and women is doing them any kind of favor. Really, what you're doing is setting them up for failure, because the world's always going to remind you of what you are. I don't care who you are. And then that one person, Breath was her name.
Breath Mormore,
which is a stupid name, by the way. I swear, some of these trans people, it's like you come out and you can name yourself anything you want to name yourself, and you choose a stupid name like Breath. But anyway, Breath is from Alabama and talking about the fact that they left Alabama to get away from all this. Well, find another place that's actually what you want. Because San Francisco is changing too. San Francisco is mostly tech bros now. So the people that are looking for old San Francisco to come back, that ship has sailed. San Francisco is changing along with everybody else. So if you're not finding what you want there, Find another city to move to. Find a spot that's going to be exactly what you want. And the worst part is the one that you saw talking that said it's like being a person of color and it's like DEI. The black trans person by the name of Dakota Rose Austin, that is actually a person that has been convicted of the R word.
No, I'm in fear.
And is considered high risk, a level 4 on the California Registry of S offenders.
And that
She's
person
an
wants to go
RSO,
and hang out in a
registered
nude
offender.
environment with
And
women.
their actual name is Dwight Austin. And it was only in 2022 that this person ended up getting convicted of that. And like I said, was put on the registry at a level 4, which is a moderate to above average risk of repeating. So that's the person that wants to be in the nude with women, and everybody's okay with that. The trans community is pushing it. This person canvasses for the ACLU, which one day I'll talk about the ACLU, but they are doing us as LGBT people no favors at all. Like a lot of the cases they're picking up lately really are situations that are making LGBT people look bad. And if the T thinks it's in bad shape now, let the ACLU, the HRC, and GLAAD keep telling you that these are actually good causes to go after, and watch the way you lose even more privileges than you've lost already. And notice, I didn't say rights, I said privileges. And I said privileges because it's not really rights that have been lost. It really is just privileges that people had extended to you. And there are certain cities and states like San Francisco and like California in general that really have catered to trans people in a lot of ways, or LGBT people, because they always put it under the umbrella. But really, as gays, we don't need any special rights. It really is trans people specifically. So when you're trying to go in spaces that you know aren't designated for you, and you don't understand that having an RSO does not look good for your community, but you're still putting that person out front, continue to do it your way. But like I always say, a hard head makes for a soft ass. No pun intended. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention is, do you notice how that person, the heavier set one with the mask on, like it's still 2020?
What if that
Was talking about how in Slavic cultures there was a... Why do we always have to go to Slavic cultures, or the Mayans, or the Native Americans before the settlers got here? What are we talking about? We are in 2025 in the United States of America. I don't care what went on 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 300 years ago in some other country, or even in this country if it was before 1776. How about we stop trying to dig in the past to find something to justify your bullshit? All right. So now let's get to the second clip. And this one is for the people that thought that only males could be creeps. Because this person is a trans man, so born female, now identifies as a man. And this person is at another spa. This one is a Korean spa. The last one was a Russian spa. But this Korean spa receptionist is about to get a brow beating from this trans man that just can't understand that they're not wanted on the male side because they're not an actual male. So exhausting, but let's get into it.
I took my friend to Imperial Spa in San Francisco's Japantown yesterday. About 90 minutes into our hot tubbing, 2 attendants came in, singled him out, and asked him if he was transgender. He responded, "That's inappropriate. Why are you asking?" And they replied, "Because we had complaints." My friend responded, "I'm a man, so obviously I'm going to use the men's facilities."
And I know I said this at the beginning, but I'll repeat it at this point as well. Because these people really have let me down. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I have always stuck to my guns and said that I will refer to trans people the way that they want to be referred to, as long as it's man or woman, he, she. I will not do the they and them. But I'm being forced to go all they and them with people because I can't respect these people as what they're saying they are, and it's because they refuse to understand that there is a difference between them and a biological. If there wasn't a difference, we wouldn't have to put the word trans in front of it. And I'm beginning to feel really silly about having stood up for these people this long and having really been adamant about it. Because while I won't argue with people down in the comments, I will see people all the time saying that I should stop referring to people that aren't male as he and aren't female as she. And it's just something that's second nature for me at this point. Like I said, I've hung out with trans people for the last 30 years. And so it's not hard for me to do that at all. But I'm beginning to see how it really is getting confusing for them. Because I always thought it was something that I did as a courtesy, or people like me did as a courtesy. And that there was this unspoken understanding that they know what they are. So, of course, they're not going to try to assert that they are something that they're not. They know what they are better than we do, is the way that I've always seen it. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And it's a real, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you situation.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
It's a real Tyra Banks moment I'm having right now. And a little bit of a come to Jesus with the trans community and the trans activists more specifically. So I'm really going to have to reevaluate what I'm doing here and what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, because these people are really acting up.
Now the winter's over.
They got embarrassed and left. It felt pretty gross, so we got dressed to leave. My friend said he wanted to ask them about their policies. I got my phone ready because I had a feeling it would not go well. And this is what happened.
camera so we can go viral.
So I'm just curious, do you have an anti-trans
So, I'm just
policy
curious.
for trans people not allowed to be here?
You're not, bitch. You're fucking aggressive and confrontational. I reserve the right to kick you out of wherever I own.
Okay, when the guy narrating said that he had a feeling that it wasn't going to go well, no, what you knew was you guys weren't going to let it go well. You knew that you guys were going to go make a problem out of this, so you made sure that you were recording so you could get maximum mileage. But what I have to tell you about this is the video itself, actually he had to turn off the comments, which tells me that people were probably saying, yeah, just go somewhere else. Because if they were getting support, you think that they would have turned those comments off? It's because everybody's tired of this madness. And I will repeat, the trans community really doesn't understand that people are turning on you faster and faster. Day by day, you're losing more and more support. You are hemorrhaging support right now. But you still will do things like this. And nothing about what they said right now sounds anti-trans to me. They said they're going by your parts. That's going by biological reality. To me, anti-trans would be saying that trans people aren't allowed to come in. They're letting trans people come in. They're allowing trans people to come in like everybody else. But just like everybody else, it goes by biological reality and not what you think you are in your head. Before we go any further, I'm just going to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We just passed 73,000. Thank you very much, everybody. So please do your part. Click the subscribe button. When you click the subscribe, hit the bell, and make sure it's set to all notifications so that you know every time I upload. Now let's get on with this ridiculousness. I mean, ridiculousness.
I'm not sure what you're...
Oh my God!
As in like physical parts, as in like your genitals.
Yes.
If you have the woman genitals still, you go to the woman's side. And if you have the male genital, a penis, you go to the male side.
Oh my God!
I can't believe she's having to explain this to these people like they're children.
Yes.
The rest of us all learned this in kindergarten, if not before. We all know.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
You either get with the program or you get to step in.
Well, what about women who have penises and men who have vaginas?
If we're being honest, that's not really a thing.
Oh my God.
Some of us, like myself, have played along, and I realize now that I am part of the problem. I'm having a real aha moment and fully comprehending that I and people like me, we're part of the problem.
Oh my God! It's not chewed up!
So you would put a man in the women's room?
So they have the parts, yes.
That's not a man, though, necessarily.
The definition of a man is an adult human male. The definition of a woman is an adult human female. Stop trying to confuse everybody just because you guys want to make it confusing.
We just go based off the genitals. So you're signed with the male as the genital part.
If you put a man in the women's room, you're going to have huge problems. You can't do that.
We have transgender male, they feel totally, if they still have, we're gonna talk how it is, they still have their vagina, they go on the female side, they feel totally comfortable.
Okay, I'm not gonna bust this woman's cake pops.
I got my cake pops removed.
Because I can tell that English isn't her first language, and I'm not saying that at all in an insulting way. I really do respect people that can speak more than one language, so I'm not trying to come for her like that, but there is that as partially a factor. And then there's also the fact that she's flustered because she's dealing with these people that are giving her a hard time about something that is very basic for 99% of the world. Most of everybody gets this, and it's not a problem at all. But what I would like to tell people to move away from completely is sometimes people will say trans male or trans female. That is completely incorrect. If you want to use trans man or trans woman, graduate to that and then move out like I am to the they and the them. As much as I hate to do they and them for singular people, that is starting to be the only way that I can handle it in a somewhat respectful way and still be true to what my thinking is, because the fact of the matter is you cannot change from male to female. The thing is, you change the way you present. This is not about a change in sex at all. This is about changing your gender, the way that society sees you. And I'm not going to turn into one of those insufferable people that every time I see somebody say trans male or trans female, I'm going to be like, trans man, trans woman. I'm not going to be that person. I'm just letting everybody know this is one of the ways that we as a society can put down a boundary and make it clear that we know that you cannot change immutable characteristics about yourself. You can change the way that people see you, you can change the way that you present, but you cannot change your immutable characteristics like what you were born. We all are what we were born, and we will be that until the day we die.
So we go based on what they have, the gender.
Yeah, but you have, I mean, if somebody is a man, they need to go in the men's room. Just full stop.
Yeah, I wish nobody had ever taught anybody the term full stop, because full stop is always preceded by the dumbest stuff you've ever heard in your life. It's always something stupid and then full stop. So shut up with the full stop, because the truth is this woman is 100% right in everything that she's saying. You're either male or female, and males go on the male side and females go on the female side. Full stop.
Genital parts, we cannot let them go on.
You can't say that somebody's not a man based on what their parts are. If they're licensed and what they have said they are a man, you can't say that they're not allowed to go into the room.
That's our policy. So
Is that where's that policy?
Don't let me be hurt.
So you have genitalia written into your policy? Can I see that,
It
please?
has to go.
Can I
that's
see
how
that,
we go.
please? Why do you care so much?
Like,
Just
in a policy for
leave. Why do you
where
want to be
this-
somewhere
Take
that
it up
doesn't
with
want
God.
you?
So few people have problems grasping this concept that you're trying to make seem super complicated.
I don't
and it
understand
really
that.
is turning into a
If
situation
someone ever
where
kicked
1%
me out,
of the
I would
population
never,
is
ever
99%
dig
of
my
the
heels
problem.
in. I'd be like,
Full
oh,
stop.
fuck, I gotta leave.
I don't see that on your website. Is that written somewhere that genitalia is
It's
part
not
of your policy?
written, but still, we still go based off the gender and if their genitalia.
Oh,
Genital
no.
parts.
That's literally not how anybody defines men and women, especially in San Francisco.
Do you know what the word literally means? Because that's literally the way most of the world defines man and woman. And yeah, in San Francisco, I know they get real loose with the terms. They have a history of that. But the rest of the world isn't going with it, and even San Francisco is getting tired of it. That's why you got almost no support on your video that you put up about this, that I'm sure you thought was going to go viral, and everybody was just going to have your guys' backs and
Oh my
hold you
God,
up on
this
their
is like
shoulders like
Christmas.
you had really done something. And instead, I think you were at 7,000 views when I saw it.
If a man looks like a man, or if they define themselves as a man,
Well, also
then they
that
go
you're
in the men's
legally
room.
a man.
And that they are legally men.
Do
Sure.
you have a man on your driver's license?
Nobody has a man on their driver's license. Everybody has either an M or an F, which is for male or female, and that cannot be changed.
So yeah, but we still go based on the parts. So if you have a female part, you go to the female side. If you have a male part, you go to the male side.
So, just so you're clear,
She doesn't need a just so you're clear. She's being very clear. She's been very clear. You two are the ones that aren't clear, and you're literally trying to gaslight her right now.
That is anti-trans rhetoric.
Well, then I guess reality is anti-trans rhetoric.
That is discriminatory anti-trans rhetoric.
And then put that, but that's what we go based on.
I'm just letting you know. That is...
Okay, great. I'm letting you know too, bitch.
Not necessarily.
Yes,
no.
necessarily. And we also
I
have the
fucking
right
hate
to
manipulative.
our
Well,
service.
technically,
Right to
people, I
refuse
hate it.
service. She should call the police and have them trespassed is what she really should do. And really what she should have done is
Really
as
do
soon
hate
as
it.
they started arguing with her, she should have asked them to leave.
It's fine. I would never come back here, and I wouldn't ever tell anyone trans to come here because you are
Okay, bye.
spreading anti-trans rhetoric.
Thank you.
And I've been coming here for 20 years, and I've never heard anything so ridiculous as somebody come in and ask a man who is in the men's room whether or not they belong in there.
Our customers, a lot of customers are complaining, so we have to go.
Your customers, you should be educating them on what a man is and what a woman is, and it's none of their fucking business.
It is no business's job to educate people on what a man and a woman is, especially when the definitions that you want them to educate people with aren't even accurate definitions. Now, please, sir, put your pussy away and go home. The conversation is over. Take it or leave it. You can be there or not be there. And
I
when
am
you're
so
done
glad the
with
world
it,
is coming
I'll just
around to
make
this
sure none of my
bullshit.
trans friends come here.
It's so
Good.
nice
That's
when the
kind of
fucking...
what she wants. If they're gonna be
I've been
idiots
saying it
like
for
you,
years.
If they're friends with you,
People
and
been
they
calling
have
me
your same
names.
mindset
You're
where they
transphobic.
think they're gonna
You're
force
racist.
somebody
You're a
or
bigot.
browbeat
No, if I'm all
somebody
those things, that mean I would
into
hate everyone
definitions
equally,
of
right?
Male and female, as well as changing the way that every one of their customers defines male and female, then you're probably not the business that they want in the first place.
If somebody says that they're a man and you've got a man that's in the men's room, then it's none of their business. They don't have a right to complain.
Can't wait till this whole
You
thing
also
just
don't
goes
have
away.
a right to judge people based on their based on their medical information. So just
No
so you're
one's
clear,
judging
this
you. They just don't
conversation is
want to see
starting
your
now because
fucking
he came up to me and asked me if I
your
was transgender.
man
So
pussy.
transgender status is a protected medical classification under HIPAA. So you don't actually have the right to go up to anyone and inquire if they are transgender. Furthermore, there are intersex people. Furthermore, there are intersex people.
So transgender status.
You'd rather argue?
I swear.
Why would you argue though? I just don't understand
came
any
out
of
of
this.
this person right now, and they're talking about intersex. Here's the thing, trans people. Everybody is tired of hearing the intersex argument. If you're not intersex, shut up.
That scientifically, medically do not fall into a binary gender, and you cannot tell that by looking at them. So the only way you know a man and a woman is based on
Are you
what
fucking
someone
kidding
tells
me
you
right now?
they are.
Well, a lot of customers came and told us they've seen that, so we have, as my job, women, men, and we go based on gender.
Okay, well, we're taking a pause. Because my fucking Jewel is dead. No, the bag's not going to break. The bag will be fine. I just won't grab it by its handles. Just got to grab it from the bottom. They're pretty sturdy bags. They're heavy-duty lawn bags. Come here. the white suit. She's like, what the fuck is on you? What's up? She's freaked out by the white suit. It's okay, Mana. It's okay, money. I just got a suit on. It's clothing. It's my clothes. Yeah. It's my clothes. You see? Yep, I had gloves on. Just lost the gloves. There she goes. Come on. It's okay, you're not gonna fall. I shouldn't have sat down. Get out my fridge. It's like, fuck, gross. Oh. Just one more, you got it. Oh, so tangy. getting a little easier. Stop. Teeter, no. No. Now I got 3 additional food beggars. I wouldn't if I hadn't have to. Everybody wants my fucking cheese. I don't want it. I'm sorry. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be eating it either. Fucking did it. There's one more bite, you can do it. Oh, God, please, no. This fucking thing. Oops, I crushed my mouth. Munbun, what are you doing, dude? Now she's stuck. Look at her. Oh, she just did it. She was bridging the gap with her body. No, Orly, no. She's only allowed out there because she can take care of herself. What are you doing, dude? All right. Are you coming or are you going? What are you doing? Figure it out. Fucking turds everywhere I look. Poop. Gloves. Really sucks when your fucking gravel is the same color as the dog poop. Whew, I made it. Made it. I love cheese sticks. I just don't like eating food. Sometimes. Like, I'm exceptionally, that was the first food I've had all day today. So I just broke my fast. And my body was not having it. Didn't want anything to do with that. But I did it because I have no choice. If I don't do it, I will get sick. I'll get super, super pukey. Hi, Bun Bun. We're there, dude.
Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for the
stuff right there.
How did you come to experience the divine, and how did you become spiritual if you had rejected it your whole life? What was there an incident or was...
There was. So I was in New York City, 2001. September 2001, to work out a distribution deal for my very first movie. And that just happened to be the week that the World Trade Center was attacked. And I was sleeping on a friend's couch who produced the Howard Stern show. And he had media badges. His apartment building was just on the edge of mid-Manhattan, and we could see the buildings from his building. They were on fire, and we actually, they collapsed while we were there. And he had media badges that allowed him to park wherever he needed to park in New York because of his position as a producer on the Howard Stern show. And so he happened to have 2 badges, and we put the badges on, jumped on bicycles, and went down to the scene, and they let us in because they didn't know what to do with these badges. And we stayed for 72 hours. And we were feeding firefighters, rescue workers, washing their eyes, washing our own eyes out. And then I kind of graduated up to doing search and rescue and basically recovering body parts. That's really what it amounted to. The building as it fell was just a giant blender, and it just scattered body parts everywhere. And so that experience, of course, I'd never experienced anything that horrific in my life. But about 50 some hours into it, somebody came out on a bullhorn and said, if you've been here since the beginning, which we had been, we require you all to go take a mandatory nap right now because you'll be dangerous to the rest of us. So go now. And so we said, okay. And so we went into the lobby of an abandoned apartment building. All the windows were shattered, and there was a dusty couch, and I kind of beat the pillows off and laid on the couch, pressed my face against the back of the couch, and had a pillow over my head. And I fell asleep instantly. And speaking of dreams, particularly lucid dreams, I slipped into a dream. And it was the first victim that we had found was a very small man in a business suit. He had hid under a fire truck, and the truck had been crushed upon him. He was very disfigured and crushed. And so I woke up, and he didn't go away. I felt him breathing on the back of my neck. I could visualize him kneeling on the couch and literally just looking at the back of my head, and I could feel his warm breath on the back of my neck. And my body was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do, and I thought, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to see this horrible face, and what am I going to do with this? And I just laid there and I breathed, please go away, please go away. And it wasn't going away. I kept feeling this breath. So finally I spun around to face him, and of course, nothing was there. And I sat up on the couch because it was so vivid and so real. I sat up on the couch and I started rubbing my eyes and my face. And then all of a sudden this voice, now I'd heard this voice before, but one of the big works for us to do in these human bodies is to learn how to distinguish the voices in our head from this infinite intelligence that sometimes speaks to us and through us. And so I heard that the voice said, randomly said, this could be your Vietnam. And that was it. And I just waited, or what? Don't stop there, or what? I need that answer. And I realized, I think I need to go find that answer for myself. And I went back out into the rubble. Now it was nighttime. And during that period that I had been trying to sleep, they had erected these giant kind of football stadium lights so that the rescue workers could see better. And as a cinematographer and a person who loves lighting, I walked around the corner, and my first impulse was, I saw the sparkly lights, and I said, oh, wow, So beautiful, which I also often say when I see dapples of light through the trees. And I just said, oh, it's so beautiful. Then I thought, what did I just say? Are you kidding me? Like, you're going to stand here and call this beautiful? There are thousands of dead people scattered around, people crying, women coming up with flyers and pictures of their husbands. Have you seen him? I know he's alive. He must be alive. And you're going to call this beautiful? And I stopped and I said, is it? Is there beauty here? And that question unlocked a whole world for me. Because the moment I asked that question, I said, is there beauty here? My attention shifted from just being stuck on loop of this horror, and we got to find the people who did this and kill them, and just like, that's what you feel when you're in a situation like that, to suddenly standing there thinking, look at all of these men and women. We've all been warned. We were told the quality of the air that we're breathing. We were told that it was going to kill us. No one left when they got that report. They all stayed here because they want to save a human life. The very slight possibility, by this time everyone was like, there's probably no one alive. But the very slight chance that there might find a human life, it's like all that facade that I talked about earlier was just stripped away and burned, and people were actually showing up the way that we're naturally driven to show up. Like, we are here in service and we care about others. It doesn't matter what color you are, the age, your sex, any of that. We're just here to do a duty because suddenly all the things that we thought that mattered, this physical world and the cars, because we were looking at the finest automobiles you can imagine. They were just crushed and, rescue vehicles flipping them over so they could get in. And none of it mattered anymore. All these things that we were taught was the goal were just dust. And so I stood there and I said, this is what changed me, as I started kind of just repeating to myself, never forget, this is who we are. This is who we are. Not all that other stuff is an act, but this is who we are when something happens so much bigger than our own personas, that we shift into a mode of service and care. And that was the beginning, to answer your question, of when I started to look deeper inside of like there's more to this. I left Hollywood. I was married to my first wife at the time. I got a divorce. I changed my life. I went to live on a friend's vineyard in the Napa Valley, and for about a year and a half, as I thought, there's no way I'm going back to Hollywood. I can't be part of that anymore. At that time, I had a really successful music video career. And I was like, I'm done with all of it. I'm not going to degrade women in videos. I'm not going to sell products and commercials anymore that I wouldn't use myself. Like, what happened to me? This system of Hollywood turns you into this slave of consumerism, and all I'm doing is selling products and making these people rich. People that I wouldn't even invite to my home. This isn't what I got into this business for. I got in this business because there was a spark in me as a child, that when I was first touched by some kind of performance, and I realized, that's what inspires artists to get involved, that the soul of the music. And you watch a movie or a performance or whatever it might be, and you just go like, this reminds me of the thing that they're trying very hard to get us to forget, and that is the beauty of humanity. And so I promised myself, I said, I'm never going to forget again. I saw it, and I'm never going to allow this world, that industry, any of it to make me forget what I saw. I can't unsee it anymore. And so I thought I was done. I thought I was done in the business. And thankfully,
God damn it.
I met my wife now of 22 years, and that kind of renewed things for me, just to have a true love in my life, and someone that really kind of appeased all that hunger in me, that predator hunger that I had in me so long, trying to hook up and go out and all that. That was done. I was like, I'm satisfied now. Let me get serious about and reunite with my purpose. Why did I even get into this business? And let me just find a way to express that and be that. And I thought, I certainly can't do it within the circuitry of Hollywood. And so we created our own game, and we've been playing that ever since. And that's what led me into producing something like the Pandemic series.
That I made when I made that skirt.
Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link. for the tickets.
This is a real vintage dress.
Now, with an update on that Baton blunder making headlines, Tam, you can see it here. The high school track runner accused of attacking her opponent with a baton is now facing assault and battery charges. All this happened during a relay race at the Virginia High School League Championships. Kayleen Tucker was gaining speed on Alayla Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head. Everett calls it an accident and says she lost her balance.
So let's talk about this Baton story, and we're going to figure out how racism got involved in this whole thing, because these are two black athletes who got into an altercation, and people are screaming the whole thing is racist. So let's talk about it. Okay, before we get into the whole racism issue in this story, which I don't know how it developed, let me give you the details on what happened. Now, I got to take you back to March 4th, 2025, and this is a high school track at Liberty University in Virginia. Now, this is Alayla Everett. She's a senior, and she's participating in the 4x200 meter relay. Now, that's when Kayleen Tucker, another participant, started passing Alayla during the race. And then this happened.
Incident from a Virginia state championship relay race last week has made headlines. You can see Alayla Everett appearing to use her baton to hit her competitor, Kayleen Tucker, from a different school in the head. Tucker told our affiliate in Roanoke, Virginia, she was diagnosed with a concussion and possible fractured skull.
So, since there are two sides to every story, let's hear from each of these young ladies, and they're going to give you their perspective on what they believe happened. So, let's start with the young lady who was hit with the baton. Here's how she saw the events.
When you get on the other side of the track, you have to cross into lane one, you have to merge in. And as I was coming up on her, she kind of like made me like get cut off a little bit, so I backed away. And then as we got around the curve, she kept bumping me in my arm. And then finally when we got off the curve, I like slowly started passing her, and then that's when she just hit me with the baton and I fell off the track.
Caitlin ran off the track and her mother ran onto it. Team trainers came to her aid, and the opposing school, IC Norcom, was quickly disqualified. But the damage had already been done.
I could feel like a headache coming up, so I just set out. But I recently went to the doctor, and they prescribed me with a concussion and a possible fractured skull.
So if we're looking at this as a court case, that's the plaintiff's whole argument. I was on the track, running, this is what happened, and ended up with a fractured skull and concussion because this woman hit me in the back of the head. Now, let's hear from the defendant, the woman who actually hit this young lady with the baton.
Could you just walk us through that day and that lap? Could you just walk us through that?
Girl, you lied. Now you're gonna have to try to keep playing.
I was coming from lane 6. She was in one of the inner lanes. So all I see is one person in front of me. I'm like, okay, I'm in second place. We get to the curve and I feel someone coming up on me, and I see like yellow in my peripheral vision. So I'm running and she's just getting closer and closer to the point where like she's up on me, and my baton is her elbow, like her arm's really hitting my baton to the point where I lost balance. And then it really went behind her back. I'm in a position like this. It rolls up her back. My arm goes up because it rolled up her back. My body twisted. The curve is that way. I have to run that way. So I'm like this in the air. I catch my balance, pump my arms. She's cutting in, so when I pump my arms, she got hit. And I kept the baton up afterwards because she was running off of the track and I didn't want to hit her again. And when I seen her run off the track, I wanted to help her, but in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she initiated it. I'm sorry I hit her. I didn't mean to hit her. It was intentional, but I'm going to pass the baton off. After I passed it off, there was people around her, and I'm like, oh, what if they think it was on purpose? So I asked my coach what to do.
So now, clearly you've heard from both sides. And since they're charging her with assault and battery, the first question should be, well, what's a battery? Well, Virginia courts have defined a battery as a simple touching of another willfully or in anger. And this includes touching done in rudeness or in insult. This also includes being touched by an object set in motion by the accused, such as whips or, in this particular case, a baton. Now, for the defendant in this case to get out of the battery charge, they'd have to show that this wasn't intentional. It's not willful. As you heard heard the young lady say this was an accident. She didn't mean to hit her in the head. She just lost balance and the baton hit her in the head. And that defense would likely work in a battery case. But again, that's only if the jury buys it. So now the next step in the process is police and prosecutors have to determine if there's probable cause to arrest this young woman for battery. Now, probable cause is best defined as a reasonable belief backed by some type of evidence that a crime has been committed and the person that you are about to seize or arrest had committed that particular crime. Now, this can't be a hunch or some suspicion. It has to be backed by some evidence. For instance, like in this case, you have a video of the young lady actually striking the other woman with the baton. Well, police and prosecutors looked at this case and determined that they believed they had enough probable cause to charge the young lady with assault and battery.
Well, back now with an update on that Baton blunder making headlines, Tam. You can see it here. The high school track runner accused of attacking her opponent with a baton is now facing assault and battery charges. All this happened during a relay race at the Virginia High School League Championships. Kayleen Tucker was gaining speed on Layla Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head. Everett calls it an accident and says she lost her balance.
So I'm like this in the air. I catch my balance, pump my arms. She's cutting in, so when I pump my arms, she got hit.
I just felt a bang on my head, and then I fell off the track immediately.
Tucker suffered a concussion from it. The judges disqualified Everett, who says the public scrutiny has turned into harassment and death threats.
Death threats, racist people, people making fake accounts to talk and harass me on my page.
And the Everett family has apologized. The assault and battery charge would be a misdemeanor.
So now, if you slow this video down and really look at this altercation, it really looks like she was hit in the head intentionally. Now, we don't know what was going on in the young lady's head, but you can come to a conclusion based on the facts and circumstances that you see. Was she just upset the other girl was running past her? Now, on the other side, there could be an argument that this was just a tragic accident and that there was no intent to harm this other person. If that's the case, then you'll be not guilty. So I don't know how this is going to play out.
She pumped her arm forward to regain her stride, and that's when Tucker got hit. But for many watching the viral video that shows the incident from the front, they think it was intentional.
We're just seeing one video, and it looks bad from that angle.
A certified USA track and field official even slowed down the video to show just how close the two athletes were competing. And for anyone watching it with just the naked eye, it's just too close for anyone outside of these two athletes to call.
Leaving certain things out did so much damage to our family.
The Portsmouth NAACP released this statement in support of both families and called out the racial slurs and death threats that Layla and her family have received. Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney Bethany Harrison says a petition for 1 count of assault and battery has been issued. In response to that, Portsmouth NAACP saying, quote, "We are committed collectively to ensuring that the criminal justice system, which we feel is not warranted in this situation, is executed fairly and based on due process."
So let's wrap all this up. The state's going to say the defendant here did this intentionally and she caused harm to this other young woman. She has a skull fracture and a concussion, which makes this a simple battery because of the willful nature of it. While the defendant in this case is going to say this was just an accident. She was falling, lost balance, and accidentally hit the other runner in the head. And obviously you see who their expert witness is going to be, the other coach, saying that they were too close and accidents like this would likely happen. But it's not about what they're saying, it's about what you see. So now the NAACP's got involved and said, hey, we believe these charges are racist and we don't believe she should be charged at all. Now, understand this. This is one black woman hitting another black woman, breaking her skull. She literally had a fractured skull. And they're saying that because the attacker was black, she shouldn't be charged.
I love y'all.
Everett and her family were surrounded by support Thursday evening, speaking out at a rally organized by community members, all unified with one message.
Stand for Layla Everett!
First of all, we want to say unequivocally that Layla is not a criminal and she's not an attacker.
Portsmouth NAACP President James Boyd says it was important for him to attend this rally to discuss more on the statement the NAACP chapter put out in response to the now viral incident. Boyd says the most striking detail from all of the outrage is the fact that Layla faces an assault and battery charge, a charge he and the Lynchburg NAACP chapter aren't pleased with.
Our Lynchburg NAACP leaders had a meeting this morning with the Lynchburg Commonwealth Attorney. The purpose of that meeting was to go in and advocate that no charges should be levied against Layla.
He believes the charge of assault and battery did not stem from the office of the Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney, Bethany Harrison, but instead it possibly came from the parents of the other involved athlete, Kaylin Tucker.
So it could have lasting effects on her college admission, could have lasting effects on her scholarship.
So, just to be clear,
When you do this was a black athlete attacking another black athlete, giving her a concussion, and the NAACP doesn't want
right now,
the person who attacked the other black individual to be held accountable. This is the whole problem. Criminals need to be held accountable.
Right.
There's no excuse for what she did. And she can say it was an accident, but that's for a jury to decide. What she did was assault that other young woman, and she should be charged. Did you see an assault and battery here, or did you see a tragic accident? Let me know in the comment section. And again, if you listen to my voice right now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
If there's one thing we need less of, it's podcasts. Just because there are millions of morons on the internet and hundreds, maybe even thousands of them will listen to anything, doesn't mean that more people need to start podcasts. And the latest person to throw their hat in the ring is Big Mike, Michelle Obama, whose preferred pronouns are she and her. The entire liberal media industrial complex helped launch the podcast, hoping to propel it to the top of the charts. So it's a weekly endeavor. And it's Michelle Obama and Michelle Obama's brother. And they're going to be grappling with life's biggest questions. Well, this we got to see. Here's a clip from the debut episode earlier this week.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely struggle to eat if I feel anxious, but I don't really feel anxious about anything, honestly.
It's not a sandwich.
I really don't.
And people have been trying to convince me.
Oh my God! That's Michelle Obama's brother? Bitch, I thought that was her. I thought it was an AI photo of her. Oh my God, he looks just like her. Holy shit. Have you seen this, Michelle Obama?
Is a hamburger a sandwich? A hamburger can be a sandwich.
He looks just like her.
What makes it? It's the shape of the hot dog. You have two pieces of bread and some kind of thing in the middle. That's a hot dog. A hot dog only has one piece of bread.
Not only was this one of the topics in the...
What are you talking about? A hot dog only has one piece of bread.
Podcast, they decided to clip the segments and then post it as a digital exclusive.
You don't want to hear me. I'm just fucking bitching about the shit I'm listening to.
A whopping 25,000 subscribers. And this video has 22,000 views after being posted for 14 hours. My videos get 22,000 views within probably
I have hair in my mouth.
10 minutes. And something very fishy is going on here because, as you
Keep
can see,
forgetting to do this.
it has a higher number of thumbs up than it does views, which is a clear sign of botting. If the video has been up for a few hours, sometimes when a video is just posted, it takes a little while for the
Are you fucking kidding me?
and be confirmed.
I literally let it charge all that time.
For an entire half day. And when you look at the comments, things get even stranger. And
I fucking cannot believe you right now.
Guess who has the number one thumbs up comment? Of course, it is yours truly with the question, which one is Michelle? A lot of people are noticing the strange ratio of the thumbs up to the view counts. Other people are making quite hilarious comments.
Come on,
like
man. I
Hey,
feel like
Big
a
Mike,
literal
we're having
hard
a good
like
time.
booger is like stuff hanging out of my nose, but it's not.
Those moves really let something slip.
But it feels like
the
there
comment
is.
is referring to this segment on Ellen DeGeneres' show where something strange is going on down there. And when I checked some of the comments, I noticed that not only were a bunch of them just completely irrelevant.
This is not working. I can't get this booger out of my nose. I quit.
Asian avatars and just reeked of bots. And so I started clicking the usernames of all of these comments because then you could go to the channel's homepage and you could see when the particular channel was created. And every single one of these was created on the same day as part of the same bot farm. As you can see, they joined YouTube January 31st, 2045. So this person.
It must be nice
this
to have
person,
money, you know?
This person.
Be able to do shit like that.
All of them. So somebody was paying to bot the video to thumb it up.
I can't believe people do that. They really do that. They pay people, they pay bot farms.
Like these. This will be remembered forever. This should be on everyone's feed. And then this one,
don't
which is
understand it.
unironically hilarious. Someone's.
I think I should go get the cleaner and.
Here's another one who also posted that same comment from a different account. So they just had a
electricity.
bunch of different responses
This is
that
like
the bot farm
awful.
were pasting.
This is a nightmare. This is my absolute worst nightmare.
My mind is blown. Most legendary video ever.
This is what I was worried about.
This is how the media is trying to spin this incredible failing on this from Newsweek magazine. Michelle Obama podcast ratings compared to Joe Rogan's. Wow, it must be doing so well that it's up the very top of the chart.
My fucking jewel is
First
dead.
episode received 40. We'll be generous. Rounded up 44,000 views as of press time. While the second featured an interview with Issa Rae received 14,000 views.
Okay, well that made that easy.
The most recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience received 750,000 views as of press time, a much higher viewership.
You bitches.
However, one area where Obama is beating Rogan is subscriber engagement. Oh, wait for this. On YouTube, Obama has
Money, where are you going?
100 subscribers, where Joe Rogan has 19.5 million. Obama's first podcast has reached more than double her subscriber base, and her second reaching nearly 100% of her subscribers, while Rogan's most recent podcast reached around 3.8% of his own subscribers. They're trying to spin this as if it's a victory over Joe Rogan when his episode got over 17 times the viewership. This from the Daily Beast, an online waste of cyberspace. Fox News declares Michelle Obama's podcast a flop. No, reality shows it's a flop. So after several days now and countless millions of dollars of free publicity and endless interviews on the
Well, you're giving her free publicity right now.
Podcast titled IMO, which I assume means in my opinion, trying to appeal to the youth and their texting lingo. Big Mike still has barely 25,000 subscribers. Compare that to Brett Cooper, where after word broke that she was leaving the Daily Wire and going independent, launching her own YouTube channel, she accumulated, I think, over 100,000 subscribers, like at least 80,000 subscribers the first day, and she's up to 1.4 million. Obviously, as a media analyst, I'm familiar with many of the names in the media ecosystem on the left and on the right. Got to keep tabs on those at Conservative Inc. in order to monitor their shtick and their MO. And while obviously I'm not just a media analyst, a media critic, means I criticize, I tell the good, bad, and the ugly about the media ecosystem and the personalities. Well, I'm sure I'll find fault with everyone. I would recommend if you have a daughter to have her subscribe to Brett Cooper because the younger generation needs conservative women to bring them conservative content. But they're certainly not going to be connecting with anyone like me or any of the guys over the Daily Wire. While her content and her style is I do think that she is a great role model for young women and young girls in Gen Z and now Gen Alpha who also have smartphones and are accessing the internet. It is interesting what a failure Big Mike's podcast has been because the books that Michelle puts out do very well. And Big Mike is a big fan of books.
This is Drag Queen Story Hour. It's your classic children's reading program with a twist. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen.
That is an original Mark Dice meme that I made, by the way. And speaking of drag queens, Dylan Mulvaney has a new book that just came out this week that is being celebrated and promoted by the liberal media, confronting the Bud Light controversy head-on and other things that nobody cares about because the book didn't even make it into the top 500 on Amazon's bestseller list. But it will probably be awarded on the curated lists, like the New York Times bestseller list and the USA Today list, which are just reading recommendations from the editors. The Amazon ranking is an authentic algorithm. And for somebody with 9 million followers on TikTok and the support of the entire liberal media industrial complex to come out with a book, and on its debut day, which is usually the day when it reaches the highest of the charts, it didn't even make it into the top 100, didn't even make it into the top 500, is, well, it's an abject failure, but it also is absolutely. And to compare and contrast, and humble brag, my book, The War on Conservatives, made it to number 4 on Amazon's bestseller list of all books. It's easy for social media personalities to come out with a new book and claim that it's a bestseller when it's a bestseller in a category, which is very, very easy to do. This is out of the category. This is number 4 in all books. It's very difficult to beat some of the big brand name celebrity books that come out at the same time. So there were a couple A-list celebrities. I think Britney Spears and Barbara Streisand had books that came out. So very difficult to compete with them. But Hollywood propaganda, how TV, movies, and music shape our culture, made it to number 3 on the chart back in 2020 of all books. The Liberal Media Industrial Complex made it to number 2. So, if come out with another book at the end of this year or next year, I am working on another few that I will release at some point. We gotta push it to number 1. We're very, very close. The readers know I don't just throw a book together. They take a lot of time. They have almost 1,000 footnotes. They're very thoroughly researched and sourced, and also very serious compared to my sort of clowning around here on YouTube. In the meantime, if you want to sponsor my work and get access to my private locals community, click the link in the description below. It's $5 a month. It's a private subscription blog. It's owned by Rumble. It is a free speech platform. It's where I post some commentary, some memes, video clips that would be a little problematic here on YouTube. So click the link in the description below. Head on over there and check it out.
This guy's
God, I have the coolest stuff.
handle his own BS. The pressure that Trump has put on for a ceasefire is motivated by one thing: Trump's desire for good publicity and to buttress his case to get a Nobel Peace Prize. He won a ceasefire.
All of this is there are some major developments happening right now between Russia and the United States, as Tucker Carlson has some very serious accusations against the Ukrainians. Trump is warning about World War III. Russia is about to launch a major offensive, as there was just a groundbreaking phone call that happened between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump that we will be telling you about in this particular video, as a lot of what we told you has actually come true. If you've been watching our videos and the latest developments within the last few days and weeks, you're like, wow, how are these guys understanding of this? Well, we've been covering this for 21 years. So subscribe, click the notification button, because a lot of our content, sadly, is very prophetic, since what we have been telling you has been going on has happened and is developing in the exact ways that we predicted it to be. This, as Donald Trump has been trying to wrangle
Elliot, I found the Lego.
within the last few days. It looks like he was successful as he got them to agree to a ceasefire deal that now the Russians are a little bit skeptical of. We'll get into the Russian position here in a little bit, but the situation between the United States and the Ukrainians is so bad that even Tucker Carlson is coming out and alluding to something that we talked about, the larger possibility of a few days ago. We reported to the larger attacks on the media, specifically InfoWars, where one of their top writers was taken out. A lot of people automatically connected the dots of him being on a Ukrainian hit list, a Ukrainian list where there was also a lot of Russians on that were previously assassinated. Now, is that a larger kind of correlation that is fair to make here? Well, Tucker Carlson agrees, and we brought up the prospects of this possibility, and Tucker Carlson just elaborated on it a little bit more a couple days after we did.
An Alex Jones staffer was just murdered 2 days ago, who was on some list put together by the Ukrainian government or its supporters of critics. He was murdered outside of his house. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think, given the number of assassinations they've pulled off or attempted, that he was killed by them. I think that's possible.
Well, I would be very worried about our president. You know, I think the president is very much at risk, and these people seem to know no sense of limitation. They're capable of anything. So I hope the Secret Service is on its toes. I'm sure Kash Patel is well aware of this in the FBI.
Yep, this as some people are going even as far as to hypothesize that the Ukrainians could have been potentially responsible for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, specifically with that second attack where they had a lunatic that really loved Ukraine and allegedly was also sourcing foreign soldiers to them and giving them passports.
Aww, you fucking assholes!
Trump here in South Florida.
You motherfucking assholes!
Prevented from doing so by Secret Service that actually
they just
then
shoot
did
into
their
it.
job,
For what
the
reason?
First time around when they failed.
For what reason?
A lot of times through.
Motherfucking assholes.
Coincidences and mistakes. Now, a lot of people don't believe in those
I like making skirts.
and mistakes, and they are rightfully skeptical here. What is the truth here? Are the Ukrainians involved here? Well, we got to understand here, it's the CIA pulling the strings of a lot of the Ukrainian leadership, and the possibility of them playing some role here isn't out of the possibility here. So we have to entertain those larger ideas. It's of course, everything that we have seen here throughout this entire duration of this conflict, as the Ukrainians just got Western military support and intelligence returned to them, and they just decided to use one of their long-range cruise missiles to strike inside of Russian territory and go after an oil refinery. This as now the Ukrainians are able to use a lot of this kind of advanced tech since the United States gave them intelligence in order to, of course, do so. When the United States took away the intelligence and took away their ability to use a lot of this sophisticated tech, that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for direct U.S. and Western intelligence that, of course, they were giving them. A couple days ago, we showed you here on this channel that the Russians are probably going to be launching a major offensive in the Sumy region. Now, why is this region significant? This is actually a region that the Russians previously held. Then they actually returned back to the Ukrainians.
I'm just gonna get him all new crayons. I'm not gonna let him have these anymore.
In striking distance of Moscow. And we are seeing this as a major piece of territory that the Russians are now trying to grab up before a ceasefire is made, before a peace deal is made here, in order to prevent the Ukrainians and other NATO-backed Western nations from being able to strike deep inside of Russian territory. As Donald Trump came out and he just issued a new warning, saying specifically that we are very close towards a World War III, issuing a nuclear warning that if this peace deal fails, he says that there will be a war like no other that could very simply erupt here. As Donald Trump was speaking at the Department of Justice this Friday, saying, quote, I think we have it, but this could lead to World War III very easily. Could very easily lead to World War III, specifically speaking about the larger peace deal that he has been trying to reach, trying to make between the ever so very complicated interwoven situation between the Russians and the Ukrainians. Now, before we get into the phone call that Donald Trump had with Vladimir Putin and the very kind of important disclosures from that, we wanted to tell you about Land of Baton, BatonUSA.com. The link is down in the description below. They are a family-owned and operated business that also does a lot of social media. And you can see how the product is made here, and it's really awesome. And that product is, of course, Baton. My favorite is the U.S. Wagyu, and it's some of the most softest, gentlest, tastiest. I'm not gonna say. There's so many puns I can make here that are inappropriate. I'm not gonna do that. Hi. Gosh darn it. This is some of the best stuff.
Just shut up.
Market there, as of course, Biltong is a
Not as
family-friendly
funny as
snack,
you think you
low
are.
in carbs and packed
Stupid
with
idiot.
protein, making Biltong the ultimate health snack. Biltong is a great source of iron and also serves as a source of several other essential nutrients, including magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins.
Hey, this is from photography
It fuels
class.
gains in every aspect of your
Alright, I'll
life, whether
save
you're
that.
following a carnivore, keto, or high-protein diet. Biltong is the perfect addition to keep you on track. Use code WRC for 10% off of your purchase. and truly some of the best stuff out there. I love giving this stuff out to my neighbors. They really do enjoy it, and I have a lot of good relations with them. During Valentine's Day, I was making a lot of jokes about putting the best meat in your significant other's mouth. And again, I gotta be careful here. I got a family-friendly show here, okay?
It's not funny, Luke. It's childish. It's childish. You're not funny.
I say this because there's going to be people that clip it and they're going to be like, yo, Diddy, no Diddy. Best stuff on the market here. And if you're looking for top quality meat, BuiltOnUSA.com has you covered with some of the healthiest and most natural stuff on the market. That truly is a game changer. I like to go to the gym.
Is that thing full of weed?
I'm going to the gym.
This is full of weed.
Grab some Biltong out of the fridge.
Cool. I'm going to give it to Adam. See if he wants it at least.
Without all the preservatives and sugars and all the bull crap that usually is within all this other kind of stuff in the American supermarket. This is next level stuff, really awesome stuff. Go get them, go support the sponsor of today's video. That, of course, is BuiltOnUSA.com. Click the link down in the description below. Now, let's continue on with this larger conversation here. It's important to talk about here. But because what Donald Trump said here matters. Because I think we're in pretty good shape, a lot better than we were before we got involved. That was heading into World War III territory. That would have been a war like no other because of nuclear weapons and other types of weapons that you don't even want to know about. Yep, and that's exactly what we described here for years on end. Now people are like, oh, nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons were used during the 1940s. There's been a lot of time since that. There's been a lot of development. We're talking about tsunami weapons, biological weapons, fourth, fifth generational forms of warfare that already have been implemented in many kind of soft kill ways. Again, type of stuff that governments and militaries are capable of. A lot of the average general public can't even ponder, can't even comprehend. As Vladimir Putin came out and responded to Donald Trump, as it looks like Donald Trump asked the Russians to spare the Ukrainian soldiers in the Kursk region. The Kursk region is Russian territory that the Ukrainians ventured into. And whenever the U.S. intelligence was cut off, the Russians made very significant gains in their territory, and they have cornered a lot of the Russian soldiers in that specific region. Vladimir Putin responded to Donald Trump's request, saying that he has addressed his appeal to spare the lives of the servicemen of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region, and he says that he will give them safe passage if they, of course, surrender. He also accuses the Ukrainians of committing numerous crimes against civilians, saying that he classifies their actions as, quote, terrorism. The Russians have also announced that foreign mercenaries do not fall under the Geneva Convention and therefore do not deserve to be treated like soldiers on the battlefield. He says that he feels sympathetic to Donald Trump's calls to be guided by humanitarian considerations regarding these servicemen, and he emphasized them to lay down their arms and surrender, and that he will then guarantee their life and dignified treatment to them if they do surrender. So that's one of the very kind of desperate situations for the Ukrainians that they find themselves in, as now Donald Trump looks like he is on the offensive. After putting pressure on the Ukrainians, he's now putting pressure on the Russians, as he has just threatened not only sanctions, but also travel bans, specifically for Russia and Belarus, specifically warning about 43 other countries that they are either banned or soon going to be entering the United States. Now, the full travel ban in the United States is against the citizens living in Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. Visas that have been sharply restricted are for Belarus and for Russia, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Turkmenistan. Now, there's also countries that have 60 days to address their concerns and to address other trade issues. with the United States, and those countries are listed here, and they include countries from like St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Mali, Dominica, and many other countries around the world that are predominantly developing nations without the best national security states. I'll just leave it at that. Now, in all of this, there are people who have played a major role in this. Individuals like Boris Johnson, when he was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he literally went over to Ukraine as soon as they were about to sit at the table with the Russians. As soon as they agreed to a peace deal, he came in there and said, you're not going to do that. And he is one of the politicians that has been escalating the situation and has prevented peace here and has put the Ukrainians in an extremely unfavorable situation where a lot of their young men have been absolutely decimated and destroyed. People are going to be looking back at this saying, why did we do this? We did this because of Boris Johnson. We did this because of this fat, bloated warmonger who came in there and prevented peace being made here and spurred on huge territorial losses for the Ukrainians, as well as the loss of an entire generation of young men. He comes out and now he says he trusts and believes that Trump will put Putin with, quote, every shot in his locker, and that he, of course, will be going after the, quote, mass murderer that is Vladimir Putin. Now, the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom wants to kickstart, quote, an operational phase, sending soldiers as, quote, peacekeepers there into the region. Yes, the Prime Minister plans to initiate an operational phase for peacekeeping in Ukraine, where he announced that military leaders will meet in Britain to discuss the next steps. As the United Kingdom talked about sending British troops and airplane and hardware military equipment to the Russian front line and to the Ukrainian front line, which of course the Russians see as a major escalation that could lead to a bigger potential confrontation here. And this is why Donald Trump warns, hey, this could very simply just absolutely blow up in everyone's face here very soon, especially with Europe acting the way that Europe is acting. Now, Vladimir Putin did address his population, and he actually came out and said, essentially alluded to how Trump is trying to prevent World War III here. That's pretty clear here. The Brits, the Germans, the French, the Europeans, they're talking wild, but they're not willing to put any skin in the game here. They're threatening to do so, but a lot of what they have been doing has been trying to counter Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, hey, Ukraine, you got to have peace here. Ukraine's like, no. Donald Trump's like, hey, we'll take away arms from you. The Europeans come in and say, we'll give you arms at this interest rate and a loan you got to pay back. Again, every step of the way here, the Europeans have been escalating this conflict and standing in the way from Donald Trump from being able to achieve his deal and being able to negotiate. Every step of the way, the Europeans are countering Donald Trump's negotiation tactics and art of the deal here. But Putin said that restoring Russian-American relations is something that is possible now, and that Donald Trump is reversing the damage caused by the Biden administration. Now, it wasn't Biden, it was essentially a lot of very serious warmongers a part of Biden's administration. Biden wasn't even there. He was an old, disheveled person that wasn't even making all the shots there. There was another kind of bureaucratic deep state behind the scenes, along with their CIA, U.S. aid funding, slush funds, that were able to, of course, pay off and put us in this horrible situation that all of us are in. As Putin has confirmed that he had this phone call with Donald Trump, and that he is willing to, of course, spare the lives of the surrounded Ukrainians in the Kursk region. Of course, if they surrender, just like we talked about that, Putin made sure to bring up his position globally to the world, saying exactly where he stands here. And he is saying that Donald Trump is holding true to his words as the peacekeeper and is taking significant steps towards not just ending this conflict, but towards normalizing relations with Russia and permanently ending this Cold War we are in with Russia before it escalates into a full World War III. So it's pretty clear here that Donald Trump is trying to bring peace here. And there are some other surprising statements, even from the NATO chief, that says now that he is open towards restoring Russian relations after this war. Saying, but we are absolutely not there yet. But he's open to this larger possibility, which is, I think, a major step in the right direction here, since the Europeans, especially the Germans, you know, the United States was pretty clear, saying, you guys got to fund yourself, and you guys got to set up a warfare state and get rid of your welfare state and some of your crazy liberal policies, and you guys got to allow free speech, you guys got to allow some kind of conservative voices in your country. The Europeans responded with, no, we're just going to do the opposite of that. J.D. Vance just came out and described how Germany is shooting itself in the foot in more ways than one, as the German's incoming chancellor and a former BlackRock executive, what a surprise there, says that now he wants to codify climate neutrality. Yep, as he's talking about a $500 billion debt deal that will, of course, be meant towards making the weather gooder and creating, quote, climate and transformative fund. This is what they're literally spending their money on, as of course they're coming out and saying meat's bad, eating meat is bad, eating meat.
They chewed through my vest that I wear all the time.
Being more of a conservative, males who eat a lot of meat, testosterone goes
Fucking
up, and they're
assholes.
more likely to be.
They've actually chewed it more.
That's why one of our sponsors.
It was only this when I saw it the first time. Now it's worse, actually.
Take care of your health, and don't be like the
I'm gonna
Europeans.
save this leather.
Seriously, the situation is just wild.
Try to
from
reuse
Tucker
some of
Carlson's
this
comments to Donald
for
Trump's
other
comments.
projects.
It's fair to say that we are not out of the weeds yet. Now, I think we're on the road towards finally ending a lot of this nonsense and insanity, because the situation we're in, the situation that the Ukrainian people are in, is absolutely horrible. And we need to do everything in our power to save lives in this conflict, and of course try to rein in some kind of larger economic prosperity while
Made this out of
unleashing the
leather.
energy resources on the world. There's a lot of bad blood, there's a lot of bad history, but if we could all make money together, if we could all just put our differences aside, if we could all just put the weapons down, and if we could all just start to work together and build together and create together, I think that highlights a larger possibility that is possible under the leadership of Donald Trump. And even though his administration is plagued with some controversies, I think this is going to be the
playing in our fucking faces
that we're gonna
with
be
Israel?
focused on
Yeah.
And saying, thank goodness that this man was elected. Because if the other person was, if Kamala Harris wasn't there, it would have been the same old policy. She would have been drugged up, liquored up. She wouldn't have not been there. Donald Trump is a different leader.
I forgot I had
say
this.
what
It's
you may about
5G
him, love him or
internet.
hate him, I think on this position, he's absolutely doing the right thing, and normalizing relations, ending the wars, creating peace is something that we needed a long time ago. We would have had it if these sociopathic politicians wouldn't have prevented it and stopped it. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more all here exclusively on youtube.com/weareChange.
Is the floor soaked?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again, man. This situation was like
What
your
the
daughter
fuck?
was over because she was saying they were saying it was dismissed. Got this another video here from TMZ that says Jay-Z's situation just exploded. It's like but there's more. We appreciate you guys coming over and watching. I don't know what to think of this. Like I said, in that whole Jane Doe thing with the father saying he don't recall picking her up, people were saying maybe they were allegedly paid off. I don't know. You can never put nothing past these powerful people, these celebrities, man. So we gonna check this out, and I'm gonna give my input. Ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Well, you have to pull two people.
The woman who sued Jay-Z for has dropped her case, and Jay is aggressively countersuing. And now a new audio recording appears to back up Hova's claim that the woman was lying about the incident.
So Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, says they have a recording. In fact, they've now released a recording of the private investigator who met with the Jane Doe accuser. And the Jane Doe accuser says that Jay-Z did not assault her, or answers a question in that way. Right.
He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly, yeah.
But there's a problem. And then they bring up Tony Busby, her lawyer, Jane Doe's lawyer, right? And Busby has a tape as well.
Yes, and on Tony Busby's recording, Jane Doe basically denies what she said on the previous recording.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No. I never said that.
How do you make any sense of it? I mean, she said yes to them, no to them.
Jane Doe was also heard on the first tape saying that Tony Busby
Someone kind of pushed me towards going forward with him, with Jay-Z.
Yes.
Busby did. Yeah.
And then when she talked to
Oh my
Tony
God,
Busby, she said, "I never said
Heather.
that." So how are you going to believe anything? She's an unreliable witness, for sure.
But I also think that Jay-Z's side, this is a real awkward presentation of evidence. To take 1 minute cherry picking.
I agree with you.
But I think this was a mistake.
When you get 1 minute.
I don't think this audio plays for Jay-Z quite as well as he would hope.
Okay, this is really interesting.
Well, it's gonna get interesting-er, because this thing is far from over. Stay tuned, everybody.
I think what's bad for the Jane Doe is the fact that people are questioning her. Like, as a person involved or allegedly involved in this, you
Books
don't
on knitting and
want to be
crocheting.
questioned like this. You know? Do y'all believe her? Is she telling the truth? Is she lying? Then there's when she paid it off.
Dude.
Did they get to her? Like,
The books
it's
are like
a lot
soaked,
back
man.
and forth going on. I honestly,
Where's the water?
can sit here and say, I do not know what to believe.
This sucks. It's like all the closer you get to my bed or my sanctuary, the worse everything is.
If they say, this is the final verdict, it wouldn't shock me. If they said, yes, he had something to do with it, if they said, no, he didn't, it would not shock me.
What the fuck?
Because,
I don't understand.
again, let's be honest here, y'all. Let's really be honest. There's two sides.
Dude, this book is like 100 years old, man. It's an original fucking Hans Christian Andersen.
Accused, right? It's easy for someone to say, yes, this person did this, they were involved, this happened
You
to
can
me.
still read it. It's all that matters.
Because you know that if the person wants the story to go away, or because it's happened in the past, when people try to do money grabs. I'm just saying, we know that exists.
Original copy of Gone with the Wind.
But when you're dealing with someone like Jay-Z who has all this power, all this money,
They just ate the
we
books.
also know, because it's happened before, that
Little
they
House
can
on the Prairie.
give them hush money. You know what I mean? But I think so
Oh,
much
my
has
grandma
come
gave me
out
this.
that now they're trying to, or Jay-Z's his character is in jeopardy. So it's almost like he wants to fight this to be like, no, I didn't, and I also did not pay her off. This is the facts right here. This is the truth. But how many people are going to believe that? I said before, like, we don't know these people. I don't know this Jane Doe lady. I don't know Jay-Z or Sean Carter. I don't know this brother. I don't. You just listen to their music, and a lot of people go from there. But my whole thing is this. It would not shock me either way this way. There's been a lot of stuff alleged against Jay-Z throughout the years. A lot. That's why I said this would not be shocking.
Hey, I found our other DVD player.
Like, down is up and up is down right now. Left is right, right is left with this whole situation. I just feel like in order for us
$400, $500, $600 worth of makeup.
Somebody else is going to have to give some type of input. Because this, I don't know.
Oh, my medication.
Honestly, I do not know. But I will say, no, it's kind of tough to say. Because I even feel that, like, if the truth comes out, will it really be the truth?
I got these, like, old original Star Wars trading cards.
I was just going to say, if people, again,
there's also Grease. Movie Grease.
Accusing, wrongfully accusing people.
Girl, what are you doing?
And if she's truly lying
Mean Bean.
about this, there has to be some consequences. There has to be. And the fact that it's Jay-Z and he's like up here, and if she's truly lying and something happens to her, whether she goes
Girl,
to
you're gonna
jail
get
or
yourself
just whatever,
hurt.
that will probably make people second guess about lying on celebrities. But I just don't know if what they tell us will be the truth. That's what's so hard about this situation, man. This was like a 19-minute video. They were talking about all these other topics. I'm just trying to find the comments on the Jay-Z topic. It says, Jay-Z's so busy trying to prove he's innocent when he's actually showing he's guilty. I thought he wasn't at the party. So she's saying that he was at, let me see. Because there's a lot of Wendy Williams comments in here. Why are they being allowed to arrest Jane? How do they show up at her house? Someone said the Jane Doe voices aren't even the same. Someone said Jay-Z been recording since how long now? Like he doesn't know how to mix. Wow. Sounds like Jay-Z's people just prove they stalk and intimidate. Again, man.
My knee-high socks. Thigh-high socks. Whatever. Yay!
This is a tough one, y'all. It is. Because when you're dealing with power, you don't know what you're going to do. Hey, appreciate you guys coming over. Like, share, comment below. Peace out.
Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York,
They got into the
New York,
Gatorade
Providence,
powder.
Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link. Or if it's,
I need to take a break.
So this is
I wanna
an old story I wanted to do
get my Jewel
last December,
charging.
but I didn't get to it. But I want to show you this. This is from Mesa police arrested a man seen in TikTok video spraying bug spray on food at Walmart.
Why was he doing that?
Because he's crazy, I guess? Well, let's watch.
He really is spraying fucking Raid all over.
He's filming himself doing it.
He sprayed it on the rotisserie chickens.
Okay. Is this a new viral trend?
I guess so. Mesa police arrested 27-year-old Charles Smith for allegedly spraying pesticides on produce at a Mesa Walmart and filming it for a reckless social media post. Smith went into a Walmart located at Stapley and Baseline Roads Thursday evening, planning to film pranks.
That's a prank?
A video showing a man spraying bug spray on yams, lemons, chicken, and other produce was uploaded to Instagram by TikTok by a user known as Wolfie Coletti. The original video has since been deleted, but reposts are circulating online. Through investigative means and the assistance from the Tempe Police Department, detectives were able to identify Smith as the suspect. Mesa police contacted Smith, and he turned himself in voluntarily. During the interview, Smith admitted to the theft and spraying of the pesticide.
Did people not take a joke?
Smith was booked into jail on charges of introducing poison, criminal damage, endangerment, and theft. Both Walmart media relations
Okay, but what happened?
and produce.
Because this happened months ago.
Oh, you know what? He's trying to be like that other guy, Johnny Somali.
Yep.
Like, what's his name? Bobby Parrish. But he's doing the op.
All right. I'm going to charge my Duo for a little while. Hi. Did I break it? No. Okay, cool. Thanks. Appreciate that. I already have one over there. That's better. Anyways, all right. I think I'm gonna go for a bit. I'm gonna just like chill, and then I'll be back. I'll come back here in, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Whenever I go back towards the bus. So I will be back. I might come on Bigo. I might turn on Bigo so that I can listen to copyright things. Because I kind of want to listen to like maybe a book or something like that. I don't know. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit.